West Virginia has been a great state to stop a lot of this nonsense. Probably, I think, maybe only behind Florida. But most of it comes from the state legislature. I'm sorry, the state treasurer and the legislature getting on board. And the treasurer is Riley Moore. Hello, Riley. How are you?
Glenn, how are you? Thanks for having me back on.
You bet. First of all, thanks for all your work with ESG. The AP is reporting today that all this great stuff is all fiction. It doesn't affect the average person. And these people in Davos, they don't have any power to do anything.
Oh, sure. No, just the trillions of dollars under their control. I'm sure it gives them no power whatsoever.
No power. You are actually, I wanted to have you on because you have introduced legislation prohibiting the tracking of guns and ammo purchases via debit and credit card transactions. And this is something that the administration is working on. And they're working on it through the banking sector. Can you explain?
Yes, Glenn. And this is going to sound very similar to what we've heard on the fossil fuel side as it relates to ESG. But this would be the S, the social part of ESG. So I've introduced what's called the Second Amendment Financial Privacy Act. And let me give just a little bit of background here, just so people understand how this came about. So in September last year, 28 members of Congress, led by Senator Elizabeth Warren, sent public letters to the largest credit card companies and also to the financial institutions out there that deal with them, the banks. And what they asked for is a new merchant category code, MCC. And this is how they code all different transactions. But what they wanted specifically is an MCC code in place to track purchases of guns and ammunition. And now they were very upfront about why they want this. This is a backdoor national gun registry. The liberals have wanted this forever. They've talked about it. They can't achieve it at the ballot box. So now they're using the financial services sector to be able to achieve that goal. So what we've done here in West Virginia is introduce this bill, and it's going to do four separate things here. One, any financial institution that's under our jurisdiction is going to be prohibited from sharing any information as it relates to purchases of guns and ammunition. Secondly, any financial institution in the state of West Virginia that operates here is going to be prohibited from utilizing a firearms code to engage in discriminatory conduct, right, that would say, all right, we're not going to work with this gun shop or merchant, or we're going to deny credit card transactions for people that want to buy guns and ammunition. Thirdly, and this is important, it's going to create a civil action. It is going to create a cause of action for people who have had their Second Amendment rights violated by these woke financial institutions to be able to sue for damages. And lastly, any financial institution that has violated this bill, violated this act, will be prohibited from the bidding process on any contracts with the state of West Virginia moving forward. So this is, and we've talked about the S. What are we going to do on the S? They are now taking the fight to us. We are responding. And this is all about the Great Reset, total control of our lives. They're going to control with the environmental side how we power our lives, right? They're now getting rid of the gas. They want to get rid of gas stovetops, and now they're going to control our guns and ammunition. And here's one of the scariest things about this. You're going to have financial institutions, credit card companies, banks, have the sole discretion to decide when something is, let's say, suspicious activity. Okay, I bought too much ammunition this month, or I bought too many firearms this month. They're going to then decide to flag that for the feds or law enforcement. I mean, this is unbelievable.
How is the legislature in West Virginia reacting to this? Do you think this is going to pass?
Oh, this is definitely going to pass.
Good.
And this bill is going to run in the House next week. People are very excited about it. I will say, certainly Florida had a great big red wave there. We also had one for ourselves here in West Virginia in the House. We now control 88 out of 100 seats in the House, and we have 31 of 34 senators in the Senate. And this bill is going to fly through.
So that's really weird because Republicans didn't do well a lot of places, and yet the places like Florida and West Virginia that took on these issues head on seem to have done really well. That's interesting. Riley, I am sad to say, if this is true, that you're looking to leave your treasurer position and go to Washington. Is that true?
I am, Glenn. I've announced to run for Congress. I think we need people that need to get in there and fight to do. There's only so much I can do as a state on a bill like this, and we're going to fight like hell here in West Virginia to protect our Second Amendment rights. But these people in Washington, D.C., need to get off their cans and start to do something about this ESG movement immediately. And there's several things that they can do, and that's why I want to take the fight to Washington. I will be leaving the treasurer's office, but I'm going to continue this in Washington if I'm so lucky to be elected in 2024.
Have you prayed on this?
I've prayed a lot on this and spoken with my family. And it was a hard decision. It was a very, very hard decision, but I got to keep my faith in God.
I know.
I think doors opened here, and I am going to go in there, guns a-blazing.
Good. I really appreciate everything that you've done in West Virginia for the state treasurer. I'd hate to see you go from a job that you're really, really good at, but we need more people in Washington that have your sensibilities as well. Riley, can I ask you, there was a new federal restriction or ban on the firearms with the collapsible stock. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And it's like a 20-year prison sentence if you don't register them. And I think you even have to change the stock. I mean, if it wasn't for that boating accident, I would have had one of those. What do you do? Do you know? I mean, is that like law now? It's done.
Well, I mean, this is an ATF regulation, my understanding, that they've been working on now for a while as it relates to collapsible stocks. I mean, this is, Washington constantly is doing this. Okay, we're going to put this regulation and this rule in place, and then when we come in, we're going to repeal the rule. These are the types of things that the new Republican majority in Congress and the people who are going to be running in 2024 so we can retake the Senate need to be talking about. Back to your point, in Florida and West Virginia, these are the things we talk about. And shockingly, guess what? We win elections. We win elections because we go out and do what we've been talking about, what we say. But this is all about control. They don't care about the Constitution. It has been reaffirmed time and time again. We have a Second Amendment right to have firearms, to bear arms in this country, and that goes back to the founding of the United States. They don't care about that. They're trying to remake the United States.
Thank you so much again. By the way, we're going to have more on this particular issue on tomorrow's program just to figure out exactly what we're required now to do. Riley Moore, West Virginia State Treasurer, please keep us up to date on this passing or running into any kind of trouble there in West Virginia. I don't expect any. Riley, thank you so much.
Glenn, thank you so very much.
You bet.
And I'd love to see this pass in every state in this country.
And is it posted someplace so other states can look at it?
Yes, it is. It is on my website, moreforwv.com. You can go there. It's HB 2004, House Bill 2004 here in West Virginia. and I have shared this with many other states around the country. I want to see this happen everywhere and have these liberals come challenge us in court.
Thank you so much, Riley. This is really important. These states that are leading, you need to take their legislation and run it through your state. Every state that has the ability, and we've got, 16 of those states that have total control by Republicans, they should all be the strongest states. But you got a lot of wieners in there that are not actually, they're just big government progressive Republicans. You need to find out which ones those are, vote them out, but you need to get these things done in your state. The state is where we can truly make a difference.